if you're practicing and you want to somehow get exposure and try it, that's okay. But if you're already serious and you already know your process, your strategy, and you just really want to scale it, the name of the game is still volume. Some rules of thumb if you want to know how much stocks you're supposed to buy is number one, you always put in more into something that you have the greatest conviction into. This is more biased in terms of how you allocate, and that's where your fundamental analysis also will kick in. So how many stocks should you actually buy? When it comes to the stock market, it's not just all about what stock you're supposed to buy. It's not just also about technical analysis. There's so much emphasis on timing, that when's the best time to buy, when's the best time to sell, and maximizing a stock that's in an uptrend, short a stock that's in a downtrend, or stay away from a stock that's going down, which is all good. Fundamental analysis works. Technical analysis also work, but it's not the whole side of the equation. You always have to remember that once you've started to figure out and filter out what are the top stocks, what are the best stocks to buy, and then you already know also when to time it, I guess the next question that you need to realize is how many of those stocks should you actually buy? What number of shares should you actually have? There's really no clear-cut answer. It would depend on number one, the amount of conviction that you have per stock that you actually want to buy. And number two, aside from the amount of conviction, it's also pretty much dependent on how much money you have. I've said this in some videos that if you have like say 10,000 pesos, 20,000 pesos, 50,000 pesos, it doesn't make much sense to diversify and buy a lot of stocks. That actually means that if you have 100,000 pesos, it doesn't make sense if you buy 20 stocks. That would mean that you would have like 5,000 pesos per stock that you actually own. Or in the same way, you have, you're investing 10,000 pesos, it doesn't make sense to buy 10 different companies because you'll have 1,000 pesos per company. But if you're practicing and you want to somehow get exposure and try it, that's okay. But if you're already serious and you already know your process, your strategy, and you just really want to scale it, the name of the game is still volume. Some rules of thumb if you want to know how much stocks you're supposed to buy is number one, you always put in more into something that you have the greatest conviction into. This is more biased in terms of how you allocate, and that's where your fundamental analysis also will kick in. If you have 1,000,000 pesos, you don't have to split equally, meaning you don't have to buy 4 stocks and put 250,000 each. It actually means that you have 1,000,000 pesos. Probably the stock that you're more bullish on, you probably can put say 30% on it, 300,000 pesos or 400,000 pesos on it. In a way also, the smaller ones, the ones you have lesser conviction, you could put smaller amounts, say 100,000, 150,000 pesos into those particular stocks. It will be primarily dependent on the amount of money that you have and also the amount of conviction you want to make in it. I think an ideal number, if you already think that the amount of money that you're putting is a bit sizable, is at least you could try to go 5 stocks at the very least, if it's 1,000,000 pesos, and then you say you want to diversify with 5 stocks, 200,000 pesos each. But if you want to be more biased about it and put more into something that you understand and have a greater conviction, the top 1 and 2 stocks that you have in that list. So for example, if you're fully convinced on the fundamentals of Apple and Microsoft, then you also have say Starbucks, Nike, and McDonald's. But you're saying that I want to have more weight in those tech stocks because of the way Apple is run, the way their product is, and in the same way for Microsoft as well. So that would mean that you're buying 5 stocks still, but instead of putting 200,000 into each of those stocks, you could actually put in more in Microsoft and Apple. So that's how you could actually do it. Now, that being said also, as your portfolio grows, that's when you start thinking of adding more stocks into your portfolio. You could make it 6, 7, maybe up to 10 stocks as well. But always remember this, the more stocks you buy or the more companies that you have, the lesser of an impact your portfolio will be on an individual basis. The more stocks that you buy, the more diversified you will be. But the ones that are really, really good won't really help you and you won't really benefit as much. And think about it this way, say you have 10 stocks. And then you have one stock, your top rank, the one that you believe you are more bullish on, is better than all 10. It does not make sense putting the same amount of money for the stock you are more bullish in versus the stock, the 10th in your list, the one that's ranked 10th. It makes more sense to put in more in the one that you're more bullish in. And also, in a way, if you did it equally, 100,000 each for ₱1,000,000 portfolio, the one that you are more bullish on, if it goes up, say, 20%, you only get 20,000. And then the one that you are less bullish on, say, goes up by 3% or goes down by 2%, instead of you actually getting more or earning more, also, the one that performs well won't be able to do that for you. There's no hard and fast rule, but if, say, you have more than 1,000,000, 5 could be a good baseline for it, and you could start scaling it up from there. But what I do suggest also is do not buy a lot of stocks if your portfolio is relatively smaller. Do that already later on when you have larger amounts of money, when that allocation for a particular stock already is significant already in terms of volume, that it can actually help your portfolio. So that actually means also it doesn't have to be just for today. It doesn't just have to be like you start August 2023 or it's already the second half of 2023. It doesn't mean that you start off quickly 1,000,005 stocks. If you're starting off with 50,000, you're starting off with 100,000, then well and good. Start with that. Build volume on one stock. Put as much as you can on a single stock. And as it starts to grow, as your portfolio starts to grow, and as you start putting in more money, then say it has become, say, 400,000, regardless if it grew because the stock went up or because you placed in more money, that's when you start thinking, okay, I think I'm overstretching myself with one stock at 400,000 pesos. Might as well use this extra money or take profits on some of this and buy another stock so that you're now diversified. And what's interesting about that is you're using the profits of your first stock to also buy your second stock. But what's nice about that is your second stock came from profits, and it also helped diversify you. It also helped you also get out of a position already that you are already earning, because at the end of the day, stocks, correct, they can't go up forever. And it's an easy way for you also to take profits. It's an easy way for you also to get out of a position that you've already made money, that you already have a semblance already that you're maximizing something. I hope that this is something that gave you insight. I hope that this was something that was helpful to all of you. But to end this, there's no hard fast rule. But if you'll try to play something hard, try starting with 5 stocks. But with the caveat of your portfolio should be already relatively sizable and bigger as well. So there, if you gained a lot from this, like, share, subscribe, and smash the bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content about the stock market and about investing. And if you want to know more about the stock market, check out the links down below or the seminars that I have. We talk about how you can pick good stocks, how you can avoid bad ones, or we can also talk about how you can time using technical analysis. All of the webinars are down below. They're on demand. You can watch it whenever you like. And also, a lot of the things that I discussed in this video came out in my third book, which is called Stress-Free Investing. It's available in Shopee. Links are down below as well. And there. I hope you guys got a lot from this. I hope that this was something that was insightful. This is Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.